I am back. Top of the morning to you once again. Kevin Samuels, man. The man, the myth, the legend, him himself, the Godfather, as many people want to call him. I started out this morning talking about the whole thing with the baby and Danny Lee, and I wanted to move on to the subject, and I decided, I said, you know what, I'm gonna stop this cast right now, and I'm gonna start a whole different cast right now because I wanted to talk about this Kevin Samuels thing in depth. Kevin Samuels, Kevin Samuels, Kevin Samuels. The man we've learned to admire, the man we've learned to trust, the man we've learned to like, the man we have taken admiration for, listen to every word that he has to say, seemingly might be letting some of us the hell down right now. It's a possibility. And I want to share this while I start a little bit more. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. I think one of the things that Kevin Samuels doesn't realize is who he's messing with, who he's dealing with. And it's kind of scary because the girl that he's dealing with right now could be quite the type of person that could take you down, brother. And not to say, and I want to put this in contention here, not to say that she could take him down personally. I don't even think by her even being attached to them actually dating could take him down. No, 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 no. I don't think it's that. What I think is the reaction from many people as they're gonna look at you, Kevin Samuels, as they see you attached to this little young ass girl, but with a baby, another one with a baby. She had a side baby. She got a side baby that's a few months old, which is also weird to me because she's all seemingly all the time out doing interviews and everything else or whatever. And I guess her beautiful mother takes care of the child. I would suppose her mother is white, but pretty woman though. She looked like one of them. Them white chicks we used to hang with in the '90s and the early 2000s. They had the hair twisted and shit, dress hip hop or whatever. They was down, motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Yo, let's drive to Texas. Fuck it, guys, let's go. You know what I mean? She's one of them types, but still, nevertheless, good people. I could just tell by the way she dressed now, the way she looked now, whatever. So maybe grandma's watching Brittany Renner's daughter or son, excuse me. But Kevin Samuels, out of all the chicks you could have linked with, my nigga, this is where you take it. This is where you go. An IG model. And I don't think you see the setback with this. And I know you want to feel like, you know what, I can convince them that I can turn a bird into a housewife. That's what you're trying to convince people right now. It's a totally wrong thing. I've seen girls on your show that look and are in better positions than Brittany Renner. And these are girls that you would diss and throw to the side or whatever. And you'd be like, well, Big Shirley can't fit into this. I think, bro, I honestly and truly think you talking to that young girl because of just that. I think you want a baby. I think that, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that you actually are smitten by her, which is a very different term than actually being in love. I think you're smitten by her aura, whatever. And I point this out to this. I always, since high school, been a dude that always got women. You understand what I'm saying? I won't even say high school. I'm saying middle school. I always had girlfriend. I had a girlfriend. I swear to God, to this day, she looked like freaking Halle Berry. You can ask anybody. She was like young Halle Berry for real. And so did her sister. And it was Christy Bryant. All right. She was like my first real girlfriend. Beautiful girl. Now, say biracial chick, whatever. But everybody wanted that. I got her. You understand what I'm saying? There was other girls that, you know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, long story short, I know the difference between guys that don't get women like I did. And I did it without, like convincing. Like a lot of dudes got to do a lot of convincing. Look, I got this car. Look, I got this. And look, I got that. I used to be like, look, I got my own crib. I got dough. And like, you wouldn't find any of that out unless you got into a conversation with me. You get what I'm saying? Kevin Samuels comes already wearing a motherfucking bold package and an Amani suit. You understand what I'm saying? And which in many times, bro, not to be funny, you overly dressed. That's a mistake a lot of dudes in the South, especially in Atlanta, do. They are overly dressed, overly accessorized. It almost looks like, I don't know. A lot of them guys in Atlanta and Miami, they do it too. Miami does it with Amani. You know what I mean? Miami is the only place you'll go on earth in France that they're still wearing Armani. And it's Armani exchange, and it's still a big deal. You know what I mean? Nobody wear that shit up this way. But yeah, those two places. So it's that, and then I look back and did some older videos, looked at Kevin Samuel. I was like, yeah, you just ain't the particular type of guy that will go into certain situations we would be in, and a chick be like, yo, him. You understand what I'm saying? That's without dissing him. You know what I mean? I'm kicking facts. It's like that's without dissing him. So I can understand why he would be smitten by a woman like Brittany Renner, especially when she got all that makeup and all them accessories on and all that shit. But my nigga, don't let the riffraff infiltrate you. And I try to say this shit, man. See, I got ways of doing things. I'm an antagonist sometimes because I want to see sometimes people in their natural state. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes you gotta antagonize a motherfucker to get the exact state that they be in. That's why a lot of people make the mistake. I'm extremely smart, but sometimes I let people get away with shit because I want to see how far they're gonna take it. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I can wait 5, 10. I'm extremely patient. That's one thing you will not beat me in. My sign, my astrological sign is a Taurus. We are extremely patient. We're bulls. Bulls sit in the field and grades. You know what I'm saying? I'm extremely cool with being comfortable, but I will win. Just like right now, while I'm on my way to climb back up, I will win. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these motherfuckers who are talking shit about me gonna be asking me for a job. Trust me. Don't worry, I got you. I got you. Kevin Samuels, one of the biggest problems that you made for yourself this recently was dating this motherfucker right here, Brittany Renner. Now, I don't care how many times people put it and say, oh, well, they make a cute couple. Y'all misconstrue being cute or what actually is going on. And a lot of people ain't gonna pay attention to me right now. You ain't gonna know what I'm talking about. I would encourage you to watch that little reel I put together just to show you who this chick is. Because in one of her videos, she says, people say that I've got mental illness going on. And I'm like, yeah, bitch, I can tell by the way you talking. And like that and shit. Like, listen, I got some mental illness problems, but it ain't shit like that. That shit right there, that's on the border of delusion. That's on the border of whatever. And there's other women like Brittany Renner that's teaching her toxic motherfucking traits to other women. You understand what I'm saying? That's the problem. What pre-existed her and all the different athletes, rappers, and everybody else she was passed along from, including the last one who was Kevin Gates. No shout to Kevin Gates. Shout to Kevin Gates. Salute, sir. But he dissed her. And here come Kevin Samuels, Captain Saberho, excuse me. He put his cape on. He said, don't worry, Brittany, I'm flying. I'm coming to you. The Godfather? Nigga, you look like the butler right now. You look like the Godfather. Where's our fucking pizzas at, Sonny? You know? Where's our fucking pizzas? Because you don't look like no Godfather to me. You look like a simp that ran a plan and ran a diatribe that you didn't fucking believe in. You ran with that diatribe because you believed it was fucking something safe. And you wanted to do it because it gained you popularity. And I know this because you had been online for years before you had got that video popping with that girl you were dissing. And I'll say it and I'll say it again. There have been girls that have appeared on the show that you have dissed, that you have literally dissed. You understand what I'm saying? And you gonna hold this fucking hood booger up in motherfucking high regard? Get the fuck out of here. This is the chick that we supposed to wait for, a Brittany Renner, a chick that already got a side baby, a chick that had been through multiple men in the music industry and the NFL. And this is who we supposed to motherfucking hold in high regard? Kevin Samuels. See, I knew something was tricky about this motherfucker. And I knew it because I went to one of his motherfucking online pages. I ain't gonna tell y'all where, but he had one of these online groups. And yes, he was a facilitator or somebody from his staff or whoever was a facilitator of this group. That much we can't confirm, right? With this page, this fan page or whatever, I started noticing something early on. It would be that men would be in there talking amongst each other, whatever, and women, certain type of women, a segment of women would come in and they would be very confrontational, start arguments and shit like that or whatever. And they would be allowed to do so. There wasn't any flagging of them. I mean, some of these women in there were talking some real atrocious shit, like why you shouldn't. There was a couple women in there talking about why you shouldn't date men of color and men of color this and that and other and third. And then you go to their page and these chicks got 1, 2, 3 kids by 3 different men. The fuck are we talking about here? You get what I'm saying? Brittany Renner falls into that category. Most men will say that. If you go to the reel that I put together, you're going to see a clip in there of this white dude that did a video about her and talked about the same thing. Same thing I'm talking about right now. Video's got somewhere around 253,000 views on it. More views than some of the fucking videos on her own page. Wait, I don't hate Brittany Renner. And a lot of people gonna come on here like that woman that put up something on my page. You hate women. Chick, I sit on my page and I ride for women. Who's gonna argue that? I mean, the videos are still here. You know how many videos I have on my page riding for women, and in many cases, most of them would never do the same for me. You know what I mean? Y'all want to hit the cash app? It's $STRINGERBELL80. I sit on my page here, and all the links are in the description box, including the purchase link for my new single. Make sure you go purchase that if anything. That's your cheapest option if you want to support the channel. I've sat on here and talked about kids and kids getting attacked and all kinds of shit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And some ears listen to me and some ears don't. Now, I don't hate women. I hate and I despise women like this. Women that use sexual innuendos, women that use their body, women that use manipulation, women that use deceit, women that straight out lie to get ahead. Not even to get what they want, to get ahead, which is a very big difference. It's a very big difference between getting ahead. There's getting ahead, and then there's prosperity. And they're very different. Prosperity is when you actually ascertain something like a new home, a new business, many other things. That's prosperous. Then getting along and getting ahead may be like, hey, I got a new car, but it's under lease. You get the understanding what I'm saying here? I'm not a fan of Brittany Ratner. I'm not a fan of hers. I'm not a fan of women like this. I think women like this are absolutely fucking disgusting. Okay? I think these clout chasing, broke ass, yes, I said it, broke ass women, uneducated women. This brand of broke ass, uneducated woman speaks against everything that Kevin Samuels, in my mind, what I've been able to ingest, what I've been able to see about this man. It contradicts all of that. For me, it contradicts all that. Because when these girls call into your show or whatever, a lot of times these girls have 1 kid or 2 kids or whatever. And if the rumors are true and you two are dating, because that's how y'all put it out there, y'all either dating or y'all fuck. Because even she alluded to it on the fucking comment section and you intervened with her or whatever. So I got the clip up, it's up there, you know? It's a chick with a side baby. So you call this chick top tier? Why? Because she got a lot of views. Because she got 200,000 followers. So now she's of worth. So I keep trying to tell y'all the sliding scale in which your own judges you nowadays is actually higher than the tier of the ones that you say that oppress you in society. I'll say that for you one more time. The people within the culture, based on paradigms of YouTube, social media, this is how they gauge and engage in worth. You understand what I'm saying? Your real estate online is your engagement in worth. And what you have ascertained off that real estate online, offline, is your true worth to them. And then outside of that, anybody that hasn't ascertained the same within that paradigm or that culture is worthless to them. It will be tossed to the side in the future. Sound familiar? The same dynamics that YouTube will speak against, most of them. The dynamics that they speak against, they actually facilitate on a daily basis to you. And that's why I got a problem with Kevin Samuels. Motherfucker, I said almost 2 months ago, your punk bitch ass was riding around in that Ferrari, right? And you know, meanwhile, you taking donations and shit from these people. I saw in your own fucking chat room, you couldn't even facilitate the bitches that would infiltrate your room. Yes, I said bitches. That's what the women were. They were bitches. They were a segment of the population that meant nothing but toxic behavior. Fuck them bitches. They can fall off a river and die. They can fall off a cliff and die. Burn in a boat, bitch, and drown. You allowed those type of nasty women to come in and say some of the most atrocious things, unprovoked. Even when men were trying to calm these women down and be like, "Look, can we have a reasonable conversation?" No, fuck that, nigga, and fuck you too. I took screenshots of the shit. And each time one of these women were flagged, they were allowed to stay there and keep on doing what they were doing inside your chat room. I watch in your comment section where the same thing has facilitated. Where women come and they dominate your chat room. When you scream, that's an area for men. You claim you a proponent for men. Now I know you're gonna come with some articulate explanation for this shit, because that's what motherfuckers like you do. Nigga, you ain't hang around us. And I was in the corporate world. All right, I was in the corporate world. The difference between me and you was I worked for blacks and Latinos. You worked for whites. We were allowed to do whatever the fuck we wanted to do. Now we had a white distributor, you know what I'm saying, which was Bertelsmann Music Group and Clive Davis Hellman. You understand what I'm saying? But the point was, our history and office experiences are different. I always notice that. When I run, I can automatically know when I run into someone that has worked all black or all Latino in their business career. And so many people don't understand how these black and Latino companies are worth multi-millions and more than the companies that have got a skewed eye at them that happen not to be minorities looking at them. Many of times I've seen this, especially when it comes to women. I think women are able to execute the businesses more quickly and get them churning a little bit more quickly, whereas the men, they will get businesses moving and they'll be in a larger paradigm. You understand what I'm saying? Way larger paradigm. And a lot of that accessibility is because of my gender. I know this. You know what I'm saying? I know men that will not even have a conversation with you based on the fact that you are a woman. Who funeral? If you got to ask that, sweetheart, I don't know what to talk about. Anyway, that's another thing that blacks and Latinos of a certain segment are into, the giggles. I want to go into that. And key. Or let me type something that sounds funny to me. That sounds like we're in fourth grade. Key. They're really like a retard behind the camera. Like, that's how I imagine them. They're sitting there going. And the whole purpose is so they can argue with you, so they can cause disruption, so they can do something to say something out of the way. Gotcha. So they can do something to say something out of the way to argue with you. And once they argue with you, now it becomes a deterrent from the actual premise that you started with. Now, see, I started with Kevin Samuels. I'm going to continue there. Kevin Samuels, I believe, is going to show you, and I'm just saying this from the beginning, he's going to show you what his interaction with this woman, including giving her a whole fucking interview. See, simps, they love to give women opportunities. They won't look to see brothers give them opportunities. They'll look at the brother and be like, they will not help simps of color, will not help other men of color, which a lot of these men of color seemingly are simps, black and Latin alike. They will not help other men of color or be the leading force to the full leading force potential. They want to lead partially, Meaning, I want to lead with my words, but I don't want to lead with my action. That's the distinct right there. You want to say shit, but you don't want to enact the actual actions that actually make the shit legitimate and reality. You know what I mean? They don't want to do that. Most of the guys I see of color, they want to talk in this tone, and women too. They want to talk in this tone of togetherness. They want to talk in this tone online of being accepted to all kinds of things and loving and hugging and all that shit or whatever. But in reality, these motherfuckers, most of them don't want that. Most of them want a world where it's all about them. And that's the category that Kevin Samuels fits in. See, Kevin Samuels, I think your whole diatribe for the past couple months, and you know, like I know, this shit is coming to an end. The cycle with YouTubers and whether you're staying with one subject matter, those days are fucking over. And I keep telling, there's a couple people that are older and mostly younger people that get it. You know what I'm saying? Those days of just being contrived to talk about one subject or not being able to jump on the mic and talk about a litany of different issues or whatever, those days are fucking over. And the guys that are between my age, I'm gonna say anybody over 30 and up, they're bringing that in, they're ushering that in. And a lot of people that have been on YouTube for a long time or just peaking right now, y'all don't realize that your scope and your time period on YouTube is smaller. It's smaller and it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and it's closing in on you. And sooner or later, your ass gonna be gone. The popularity and the consistency and a lot of other things. I had a motherfucker not even 2 months ago tell me, "Oh, you," and I'm not talking about Doggy Diamonds either with somebody else. You getting your followers up, but you ain't. I think I did a post. I had 54,000 views on it, 2,600 people in the motherfucking live chat. What you talking about? I already came up again, so I was proving my point. When you get somebody like Kevin Samuels that reached peak, that he used to be a smaller YouTuber, you understand what I'm saying? He comes from a good regard as far as work quality, but you hook up with the riffraff. All the shit that you spilled to us, and you go hook up with the riffraff and try to make the riffraff motherfucking exclusive. Kevin Samuels, we don't do that. We don't do that. So you let a little bit out of that country boy from Oklahoma that you are when you did that. Oh, I know. Trust me, I know. They do the same thing in Florida. Nigga get a Lamborghini, go date a bitch and live in Dade County somewhere. I get it. They can get a Ferrari, go right up to Fort Lauderdale, go grab them something. You know what I'm saying? Off the beach. Not even in a nice room, hotel, or own apartment. Now they go by the riffraff. So you went over there and grabbed some of the riffraff and trying to reform her. Da-da-da. Cape activate now. Old Cap Saver hoe ass nigga. Heather Marie, what's going on? You know what I mean? Old Cap save them. You cannot save these girls that are social media influencers. A social media influencing woman has no, she already sees as a sea of motherfuckers she's got to navigate through. So if you're physically not able to do that, mentally you start thinking of ways to do it. You understand what I'm saying? And mentally, Brittany Renner somehow or another has been able to, after man after man after man after man after man that has been entertainment, rapper, or sports, she has been able to navigate herself through and only get one side, baby, and come close to the altar a couple of times. Baby, I want to love you. I want to marry you. I want to be in. And she opted to say no. You know why? Because it was all about the hustle. This is what a female social influencer, most of them do. Okay? These girls call themselves influencers, but they don't influence shit. The only thing they do is they take tight little poses that are sexy. That's the only thing I see in unison. They take tight little sexy poses. All the poses all look the same. And they post them day after day after day after day after day after day. And then they start getting worse and worse and worse. And the poses start getting more seductive and more seductive and more seductive and more nasty and more atrocious or whatever. And I look on a lot of these girls' pages and I'll be like, yo, hold up. You got an OnlyFans link? First thing I do is If I see pictures and angles, I'm a photographer and I'm a film guy. I went to school for digital media. And now that's why y'all see my edits. My edits are quick or whatever, whatever. If I had a laptop, I could do so much different. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the software. I'm limited because of the phone software, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Even if I was just filming with my phone and then editing the software, I mean, audio the footage up on a PC, it'd be totally different shit. I can barely see on my phone, but I know how editing and everything like that and angles and all that shit are taken. So I know when I see somebody and they got somebody else taking the pictures, even if you have a tripod, dolly, you can't get some of them angles you get unless, and I know this, unless you're a seasoned photographer. I've become a seasoned photographer with a phone. Trust me, I can do things with my phone photography that people think weren't even possible. From fluttering to breathing to stretch marks, glares. I can do it all because I know the focal points and I know the light points of the shit. I know how to do it. A lot of people don't know how to do that, so instead they go out and buy a $2,000 DSLR. And I had a $2,000 DSLR, Canon E5. I can tell you right now, they're heavy as fuck. You're gonna be bogged down with equipment. These girls, they put up these freaking pictures, and I see these pictures, and most of the pictures are the same ones. Y'all know them: butt sticking out, butt poking out, butt up against the wall poking out, butt up against the motherfucking ceiling poking out, looking up at the stars, ass out. Every picture involved their ass out. Okay, that's just the mantra. These girls call themselves influencers. The fuck are you influencing? More girls get naked online? What the fuck are you influencing? And what they're doing is they're doing it in hopes that bigger companies will come fuck with them. I'm going to tell y'all, ladies, you want to dream in a pipe. No bigger reputable company is coming to you to hire you, and your whole entire biography online is with you with your ass poked out. You half naked. You with your legs spread like this for the whole world to see. And if you go into the depths of Instagram, the girls are more and more disgusting. If you challenge them and click their motherfucking OnlyFans and rise to the occasion, you're gonna see some of the most disgusting fucking pages you've ever seen in your life. I have like some of the girls, they will have samples. This is a thing I've noticed lately. They have sample reels of their OnlyFans floating around. So they do sample reels. They show you what's on this shit or whatever, whatever. Yep. They show you what's on this shit or whatever, so you can peep what's on this shit real quick. Probably like a 30-second blurt or something like that. You check out this shit, you be disgusted at some of the shit you see on their OnlyFans and some of the shit they be doing. I'm talking about like I'm not gonna sit here and discuss it or whatever, but just think ghetto gaggers and the shit out there like that, but on OnlyFans. You understand what I'm saying? Like I keep saying this all the time. You just go back, and that's why I put up that clip that I pieced together. I found that what's the name was audio, and I converted it to like that. Yeah, it's gross to see how some women have degraded themselves. It's almost become a normal fashion. This is what the influencer is about. So, and I say this because we were brand ambassadors. See, when Ciroc dropped, we were the brand ambassadors, the real brand ambassadors for that. This is one of Puff's companies. So we were the brand ambassadors for that. Same thing with Revolt. We were the brand ambassadors for that. People took those terms and they brought it into existence when Puff used it. A lot of people don't want to give Puff credit for that, but Puff was the one that coined that term for the popularity. Okay, for the popularity with influencer. All right. So a lot of people are not using that term very correctly. You're not influencing anybody. We influence the word influencer. It begins the term that you're influencing people to do something. What are you influencing people to do? Other than more girls get online and get naked. I've seen girls that I know, they look like they about 16 to 15 years old. And I'll flag their asses. You understand what I'm saying? And I'll look a lot of times to see if they got a picture of their mom or dad somewhere on their page. And I'll go flag them too. That's without watching your motherfucking kid. Because a lot of these girls and their daughters They be online naked together. Y'all know? Now that these girls and their mamas be dating the same guys in the tri-state. I can speak for that. And damn sure Miami. Damn sure Miami. Oh, Miami, you see anything and everything happen down there. I just married my third cousin. That's real Florida. Why? Well, I used to babysit for her and always had a crush on her. Y'all believe me, that was where that black dude had married the girl, 18-year-old girl, Florida. The little girl that he used to date her mama and babysit her as a toddler. He ended up marrying her. See what I'm saying? You know what the fuck I'm talking about. The other place you'll see it like that is Memphis and Alabama. All your local cousin fuckers. So these girls ain't doing nothing really but influencing bad behavior like Brittany Renner. So it's hard for me to understand why the fuck Kevin Samuels would take his ass over there with the reputation you got right now. What are you trying to bow out? You trying to cash out? You said this is the way I'm gonna go out. Because you know they're about to come at your head, right? I'm doing this early. Had to talk to Sean Pratt real quick, get strategy points. But yeah, man, I'm trying to tell you, like, I'm getting this early right now. I'm getting into this early, but y'all gonna be talking about this in a minute. I give it less than the week. Y'all gonna start talking about it. Now, I want everybody, please reference them to this video and tell them Dabba was talking about it first, because I see the setup. She trying to use him for clout. Y'all talking about all this clout chasing and everything like that, but that's specifically what's going on right here. This is specifically what's going on right here. She is using that man, and they preemptively injected it into the thing. So I don't know, like if you trying to be the new Tasha K or something like that, Kevin. You know, went over there and talked to Tasha K, because he had the same setup as Tasha K, you know, with the sofa, trying to make it look cute aesthetically or whatever. I like my shit rough. I like to be raw up in the camera at you or whatever. I want you to feel like I'm right next door to you. I don't need you to feel like you over my house and I got some aphrodisiac playing and incense burning and shit like that. It's like, hiffle, whiffle, whiff. That's a witchcraft shit. That's somebody trying to fucking, you know what I mean? Get you in a mode. Like I learned this at college. Most restaurants that are fast food come in the color palette of red, blue, or red, blue, or white, and yellow. And the reason they come in those color palettes, most restaurants, most fast food restaurants, in any variation of that pattern, the reason they log this in, the reason they come in those color palettes is because of pure simple fact they're meant to rush you. You understand what I'm saying? They're meant to rush you. Even when you get a restaurant that's in between that, and they're trying to, or the calming restaurants, where the color palettes are blue, teal, green, brown, and it's another one. It's another one, and the orange. That's the other one. If you see a color palette of that degree, those colors are meant, in emeralds, the other one. Those color palettes are meant to calm you and soothe you, and meant for you to stay and relax, because this is a dine-in restaurant. Well, you get fast food restaurants and they're meant to harry you. Well, the reason I mentioned those two color hues and the reason I mentioned them like that is because it's kind of like the same thing when you get into marketing and the scale of the way that Tasha K and Kevin Samuels market their shit. They market their shit with an aesthetic that they want people to feel calm or whatever, because they're where if you feel calm, you'll dish out every fucking thing you know. You understand what I'm saying? This is a trick. So let's go back to what I was trying to tell y'all before. The same ways and means that they speak of oppression against it and everything like that, they're using the same shit on you. I know this stuff because I was in marketing for 17 years. I know little tricks and where people overuse things. The problem is most of them overuse it. Like I'll give you again, and I'm not comparing the two because Kevin Samuels was a stand-up man compared to this motherfucker right here, Umar. But Umar, if you ever pay attention to him, he'll always say things in a chord of three. Like when he's trying to get donations. Donate right here. Donate right here. Donate right here. Or he'll try to get you to, what's the name? The black, what do you call that bullshit at school? The black such and such school. The black such and such school. The black such and such. You say the pillars of three. Repetition thought invokes after that. So these people that you actually think they have your back and on your side, these are the biggest manipulators out of everybody. At least the people, the white folks that do it, they let you know in a way, you know. These motherfuckers don't care. They're after to get you. They're after to get you. That's why I don't say nothing about my cash app too much more or whatever. I just be like, yo, you know what? A real motherfucker gonna come in and be like, yo, you know what? Then I see, you go 5, you go 1,000. Get yourself right. You know what I mean? They're gonna see through that instead of giving hundreds and thousands of dollars to these fucking charlatans, and these niggas giving you the ass a kiss and going to buy Ferraris and dating fucking Instagram models. The fuck out of here. Your responsibility now is to show the people that donated to you what the fuck you're going to do with their money. That's what you're supposed to be doing, pal. I guarantee you, when I get the fucking money, I'm going to have every day, I'm going to be filming. Okay, here's my first home being built. Y'all made it happen. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. You run around. Every last one of these motherfuckers, they run around with fucking women like that's their kryptonite. They want to do the same shit year after year. Get a car, get a bitch. Get a car, get a bitch. Get a car. And I ain't calling women bitches, but you know what I'm saying. Get a car, get a bitch. Get a car, get a bitch. Get a car, get a bitch. Get car, bitch after bitch after bitch after bitch after bitch after bitch. This is the only motivation. That's why nothing can be created. Hey, what's going on, Mo Red? I heard it called Women Empowerment from Mega Cardi. That ain't women empowerment. That shit it's an illusion. It's an illusion really meant to set these women up, but they don't realize it. See, as you throw more and more, and this is my personal belief, and I think guys, fellas, y'all type in the chat room because I see everybody in here. Y'all let me know if y'all disagree. The more, see that Abraham, what's going on, brother? The more and more that you interact, the more and more you even sleep with women that are of a certain caliber. And what I mean by that is women that have ill intentions already set. You know a narcissist when you meet one. You know, one of the first discussion you have with them and they're fluttering their eyes or looking to the side or they're not really, or you can tell by their handshake. My father used to teach me that. You know, you can tell a narcissist when you meet one, whether it be male or female, doesn't matter. I can, you know, in New York, and it's in the tri-state area alone, you have to be real quick to pick up on personalities and be like in a split second, literally. It's a learned behavior, trust me. You have to learn within a split second, is this person for me or with me, or am I wrong, or are they wrong? You know what I mean? And you have to wrap that all up in minutes, sometimes, most of the time. With women, men don't do the same. The first thing they do, women a bitch, woman a woman, woman a bitch, woman a bitch, car bitch, car bitch, car bitch, car bitch. These motherfuckers don't even have their own apartment a lot of times. You know what I mean? I know dudes have been slinging D for years, sleeping in this girl house, that girl house, or whatever. Even when I was fucked, I refused that because I had, 18, 19 years of always having my own places, nice places, by the beach on the shoreline here in Connecticut. I've always lived in nice places. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, yo, I know motherfuckers don't even have a bank card. You know what I'm saying? I know motherfuckers don't have a rental history. I don't have a rental history. You think I can get in where I live right now? Hell no. I have a lengthy rental history. I was never delinquent with my people that rented to me. And I had a good repertoire and a good, I guess you say one-on-one with them always, you know? I don't give a fuck what happened. Rent always getting paid first. You understand what I'm saying? We be up in here eating air sandwiches. I ain't sleeping outside. You know what I mean? But a lot of these men, they don't have fucking, whatever. And a lot of the women too. A lot of these women had kids at 13, 14, 15 years old. So they were ushered into adulthood under the sanctum of, welfare programs, things like that, or whatever, or programs filtered towards women with kids and stuff like that. And I'm not knocking that. I think a lot of women need to take advantage of those programs. I'm not knocking that. But what I'm saying is a lot of them have negated from their education or whatever and suffice their education or further education and instead said, I'm going to hop online, start me on fans and pop this puss. And now we got a whole motherfucking collective of thotties and thottlers that's online that don't want to do no more than twist, shout, and shake their ass. And Kevin Samuels took his ass down there and grabbed him up one. Out of all the women you could date, as classy as you make yourself out to be, you went and got a hood booger. You went and got you a hood booger, huh? So I'm gonna make this one mine. That bitch ain't gonna stay with you. She gonna eat you up and spit you out like she did the rest of them. Fuck wrong with you? Fuck wrong with you, big cuz? That's my big cousin right there, man. What's wrong with big cuz? She gonna eat you up and spit you out. You see, Kevin Gates ain't gonna have nothing to do with her. Big cousin gonna run over there and fuck with her like the rest of them. What's wrong with motherfuckers always want to go out there? I have not understood that yet. I ain't understood that yet. You want to go over there with the rest of them and just, I heard that said in Hustle and Flow, I think it was. Was it Hustle and Flow? No, it was Baby Boy. He said, no, I ain't do nothing but give me a lap dance. She said, you a motherfucking lie. You know what I'm saying? So you just going to run down there with the rest of them, right? I said, damn, that's a good phrase right there. Run down there with the rest of them. You ran down there with the rest of the riffraff to chase some riffraff. That bitch riffraff. I don't fine ass one. I see some beautiful ass girls on Instagram. I see some beautiful girls on Facebook. Know some of them. Some of them I've had conversations with for years. Never did nothing with them, nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Real worthy women, real stand-up women. I always speak of my friend Tabitha Duncan from Cut Close, Keith Sweat's group. I can name a couple other hosts of women. Diane, formerly of, Mocha Steph. There's a couple other people that I've known in the industry and outside the industry that just stand up fucking people. I mean, women. You know what I'm saying? So that's why my scale, and I'm so easy to call a woman that I feel that ain't at a certain tier because I ran into so many, and I gotta say all three of them, but more specifically Italian, Spanish, and Black women in my life that have been top tier ass women. You know what I'm saying? Like they hire people in the neighborhood. They do shit for people in the neighborhood. They make sure, if you can't vote, they go around and gather everybody so they can get the signatures so they can make sure everybody vote. Or if it's just bringing the COVID-19 testing site to that location, or what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to do a cleanup thing of the neighborhood where I live at because it's being neglected, and I believe it's on purpose. You know what I'm saying? This quadrant is being neglected, but the next quadrant beside it is cleaned on a daily basis. And I've seen this with my own two eyes. Oh no, you're doing that on purpose. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I come in. Y'all know me if you don't know me. I'm well known at the governor's office. I'm well known at the local mayor's office. How y'all doing? Governor Lamont, Mayor, how you doing, ma'am? The new one. So, you know what I mean? I don't have to sit around and pretend. I don't do that pretend shit. I just show, results. But it's a lot of women out here, I gotta say, that are the opposite of those women I was talking about. And for some reason or another, they being lumped together with these horrible ass women, these opportunist ass women. And I don't like that. See, I know women that get up early as fuck in the morning with their kids, go do what they gotta do, whatever, be hopping on the subway or hopping on public transportation, whatever they gotta do. You understand what I'm saying? And those women are looked over because of women like Brittany Renner. She's got the pizzazz to get a big YouTuber to bring her on the platform, and it's all to further her shit. And I just can't believe that Kevin Samuels ain't smart enough to get that. And if you think this chick being on your show is going to bring your views up, nigga, she's bringing views down. Because more and more people start doing their research, and you know how people are nosy nowadays. More people start doing their research on this broad. I found out everything I need to find out about in an hour. When I saw the video, which is on my page here, y'all click my name, click my videos, and you'll see the video I put up about her yesterday. I said, is this a chick's gonna bring Kevin Samuels down? He ultimately, just put this in perspective. He has spent his whole year, maybe 2 years online talking about and dissing women and shit like that or whatever. Some justifiably, some not so justifiably. Some of them girls just needed a word of hope. And you might have put one of them girls in a situation where she was already feeling depressed. Maybe now she might blow her fucking brains out. You better hope that never happens. That's the one thing you better hope never happens and they attach it to you. Because I'm trying to tell you right now, Kevin Samuels, some of them girls, they deserve what they get when they come on the show. I ain't gonna make no lie, no qualms about it. But some of those girls that come on there, especially the younger ones, when they come on there and you tell them the shit that you tell them, some of the girls, they really take that shit to heart. Not all of them can just take it with one punch. And some of them, they act tough when they're online because of the camera. But once those cameras are off, a lot of them girls break down and cry. A lot of them girls feel like there's no hope or whatever. A lot of them girls been told year after year, no matter if they light skinned, black or white, they've been told since they were little girls, you ugly, you funny looking. And in many cases, they the most prettiest motherfucker around, all of them. That's why they saying that to them. You know what I'm saying? I have girls walk past me and be like, "Hey, you ugly," or whatever, because I don't look like, I don't know, man. Like some black people, they like embrace me, and then some black people don't. There's some Latino people embrace me, and some Latino people don't. I don't give a fuck either way. I can speak Spanish or English and cuss you out in each one of them. You know what I'm saying? Proficiently. Entonces sabe la gente, huh? Claro que sí. So it don't matter to me with that bullshit. But what bothers me is a lot of people nowadays, and I think what it is the nerds then took over. We let the nerds take over. And the problem with these weak motherfuckers is they do this the weak shit the nerd motherfuckers do. See, in a normal world, Brittany Renner is a fucking nerd. In a normal world, Kevin Samuels is a fucking nerd. You understand what I'm saying? And it had it been just 5 years ago, and I had any smoke with Kevin Samuels, I would have beat the fuck out of Kevin Samuels. All right. And I know most men would have beat the fuck out of Kevin Samuels in the physical confrontation. So let's not get it fucked up. All right. Kevin Samuels ain't never did no man shit, no tough guy shit. That's why motherfucker walk around the way he walk around. And some of your pictures look a little, hey girl. So, you know what I'm saying, with the Ashcott and all that shit. Ain't nobody doing that fucking throwback looking shit no more. Kevin Samuels is anti-black. Just a term high value reminiscent of slave auction. Yeah, now I agree with you on that one, but I don't think he's anti-black because he's dating a black girl, or at least half biracial girl. And I can't say too much about that because then y'all look at me and be like, yo, what the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying? So I can't do that either. What I will say is this. I think he brought up the terminology to actually propel himself. And let me tell you what I mean by that. I think this was a plan once he got the popularity going or whatever. I think this was a plan. See, I think this whole plan has always been about him being online, everything else. Uh-huh. I think this has all been about him. And I think in the reality of the sense of his life as a person and him as his revelation as far as relationship, what he could ascertain out of this was more than just money. The man already had some dollars, so that wasn't really a big thing. I don't think that was a big thing at all. What I think was, and I still kind of, you know what I mean, kind of up and down with that. But I think Kevin Samuels wants to win the whole package. He's cashing out. You understand what I'm saying? And this is his way of cashing out. And I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him at all, not one bit. Only thing I'm concerned with is the message that you brought us. The women that have been on your show, where in some cases they look just as good or better than Brittany Renner, and you told them they ain't have not one chance in the motherfucking world, and then you go date an IG model that have been through umpteen guys. This chick has been through a whole bunch of people. Little Bow Wow trying to talk to this bitch. You understand what I'm saying? So either she's got some motherfucking vajay, they got motherfucking gold sparkles and fucking bottles of champagne pouring out of it, or either I'm a fucking fool and I'm missing something here. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Y'all please hit them like buttons if y'all would. The only thing I do know is this. This woman can bring Kevin Samuels down. And I'm not talking about that's her intentions or any silly shit like that. What I mean by she can bring Kevin Samuels down, meaning literally she could bring Kevin Samuels down based on this fact of her reputation alone. This woman's reputation precedes her to the fact that there's a video out right now that's got 2.5 million views, which she put on her own page. She put this video on her own page. That's why I capped it like that, put it on there. So you can see that she put it on her own page of this man going through every guy that she's been through. Tiger, this many of different people, sportsmen she's been through a lot of people to be as young as she is. And now she got a side baby as a result. Now you got the side baby over there. And I'm saying, when I say side baby, I don't mean the baby's a couple years old, like 4 or 5. I mean, this is a baby. Side baby. Okay? Baby with her. And that's why I try to tell y'all in the future, a lot of these kids gonna be juggled back and forth with these old internet star ass parents. Because that's what you saw with Danny Lee earlier too. This bitch holding her hand and holding the baby in her hand, telling the baby to shut up, looking at the cops, telling the cops, y'all gonna leave me the fuck alone and get the fuck up on out of here. I ain't talking to y'all, whatever. There's a whole bunch of irrational shit going on with women versus women of not even 20, 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And the women of 20 or 30 years ago that are still alive now and still out here, they feel they ain't obligated to a duty to get the fuck up on out here. We need the abuelas, we need the tias, we need the titos, we need the aunts, the uncles, all of them out in the street right now. We need y'all in the street more than anything right now. Y'all want to sit back and chill and you know what I'm saying? Oh, it's not my life. No, it's not your life until one of these crazy motherfuckers try to rob you at the fucking corner store. He is I'm not doing that. Kevin and Brittany are both immature. That I can live with. All that he's COINTELPRO and all this or whatever. Let me address that whole conspiracy theory shit, man. And I got to pick this up from what Doggy Dimes was talking about last night because I've talked about this before on my page. I don't listen. There are situations. Let me put this in perspective. I want to get back to them because I can kind of drill them into this too. I do not think that Kevin Samuels is part of any COINTELPRO. What I think Kevin Samuels is he's a guy that's been online for a long, long time. And if you just put in Kevin Samuels and put any year, put 2000, Kevin Samuels 2015 right now, and you'll see Kevin Samuels pops up. You'll see a fluctuation in the views versus what he's got right now. Same thing with me. My YouTube channel was here for years. That's why I can identify. My YouTube channel was here for probably like 4 or 5 years before I started utilizing it. You get what I'm saying? Does that make me COINTELPRO? No, that makes me a motherfucker that went viral, luckily. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody doesn't go viral. You know what I mean? So what I mean by that is not the what's the word I'm looking for? Um, I'm not trying to dismiss what you're saying. I'm just saying you guys have to be careful how you say this shit in context. I've been to those levels before in media and shit like that. I work for Bad Boy Entertainment. They don't get no higher than that. They don't get no higher than Baby, Jay-Z, Def Jam, in those circles. It don't get no bigger than that. I don't give a fuck what you say. Even now, you understand what I'm saying? Even now. So, Puff's almost a billionaire now. You know what I mean? I was there with the company in '99 all the way up into 2015, going into 2016. Understand what I'm saying? So I've seen all the transitions. I've seen many things that I won't talk about on camera. And I've seen many things that I will talk about on camera, depending on where my what's the names is at. You know what I mean? So you want more out of me? Donate to the Cash App. It's $STRINGERBELL 80. That Stringer Bell 80 to sign make my living here. But I want to tell you about that COINTELPRO and all that shit. What if I was to tell you that all those terms are thrown out there so you'll purposely believe in them? And once you purposely believe in them, you'll have a narrative. And therefore, each time you see something that you think is coincides with that, you will create a fear reaction. That fear reaction, in turn, gets you to join other people because fear is contagious. Fear is like it's like a disease. You go around somebody, if you want to prove this point, go in front of a crowd of people right now and scream and be like, everybody run, and see what happens. See, fear is contagious. So is happiness. Happiness is contagious. But fear is more contagious than happiness, believe it or not. And fear invokes a lot of people and a lot of reactions and a lot of things that happen in society based off fear. A lot of wars have been tried to be started in different countries based off fear. Fear of this group of people, fear of that group of people. If you look back at the Germans and what happened in Auschwitz in Germany or whatever, that was all based off fear that actually Adolf Hitler promoted. You understand what I'm saying? And the Nazis. If you look at Mussolini, it was the same thing. It was Bolsheviks. If you look at many different people throughout history, a lot of them provoke fear. Even slavery itself was provoked by fear. The continuing so many different ways I could say it, but the continuing way that African Americans and Latin Americans and Italian Americans were treated in this country, even to this day, is based upon that same ideology. If you get what I'm saying, for those that are in the know. If you look right now at where women are at in society, I would have never guessed this, not even 5 years ago. I know I'm going into a frame right here, but they have been so easily influenced and now almost turned evil, almost turned evil. And they would do anything, the ultimate ultimatum. If we learned from that girl that did that Ghetto Gaggers video just recently, it's all about the bag. She kept bragging, I ain't get $200, I got $2,000. Okay, so that makes it okay. You still have people spitting on you, nutting on your face, and calling you niggas and shit. And you okay with that for $2,000? Bitch, I know some niggas could put you on for $2,000. You want to make $2,000 here, you can do less. We ain't gonna spit on you. You know what I'm saying? They got this new one going on now. See, Kevin Samuel messing with this chick is devaluing him. That's the point I'm getting at. It's devaluing him extremely. How do y'all feel? Do y'all think it's making him lose in his value? I think anything that he has to say after this, you better have it contrived. You better have it well put together. You did a whole interview with this motherfucking nobody ass chick and want to sit around and tell men what they should be doing. But you out here interviewing nobody ass chicks. You ain't even go get a chick from Harvard or Yale University or whatever. You went to go get common street trash. They got to follow just because you got to follow. So there was no moral base in your decision to promote this bitch. And I call her that because that's what she is. She's trash. This is not a woman. A woman, I know what a woman is. I got women in my family. I done dated women. Came close to marrying a woman. I know what a woman is. And I know what common street trash bitches are. And they should never be motherfucking confused with each other. They will give you two opposite results. See, a woman will help you move forward. A woman will be there as long as your attitude matches her attitude and energy and is adaptable to her and your situations. You understand what I'm saying? Together as a unit. That's a woman. And there's many more definitions behind it than that, but I'm just paraphrasing. But a bitch from the streets, oh no, that's nothing but trouble. That's nothing but trouble, jail, side babies, problems, other motherfuckers trying to attack you. Her mad every 5 minutes, calling up everybody on social media, posting your pictures up. He got a little D anyway. That type of shit. That's that type of behavior. And I guarantee you, after this woman is done having her way with Kevin Samuels, which in fact Kevin Samuels think he having his way with her, she having her way with you. She having her way with you. You just don't see it. And nigga, you're not an old nigga, man. You out here trying to portray like you 60-something years old because you think that adds definition to your look and character, and it doesn't. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell a lot of you dudes that are young dudes that are going with these certain looks to try to make yourself older than actually what you actually are. You're leading yourself to an early death. Same thing with the women. There's a lot of women out here that dress and act. I saw this girl that was online, and she was trying her best to look like a 2021 Oprah Winfrey. The overly like auntie suits. I call them auntie business suits, like some shit you would see Nancy Pelosi wear. Them business suits you see Nancy Pelosi wear with some shit like that. And like the hair was done a certain way that made it look like she was older than what she was. I said, you aging yourself. If you look at the Kevin's background, he seems bitter towards his mother and father. His father was not there, and his mother. I don't want to do a psychoanalysis of what his background was, and in no fair way or another, don't make no mistake about it, ladies. I'm not here defending no motherfucking Brittany Ratner, all right, Renner, or whatever the fuck that hillbilly bitch is, because that's what she is. She's a whole white trash. I seen what her mama looked like. Her mama is her mama was the white chick that you'd be like, hey, Denise, you come to pick us all up. We want to party in your car tonight, girl. Go up by the river and get drunk and shit. Oh, fuck, you got pregnant, Denise, shit. She was the hangout girl. She was the down chick. You know what I'm saying? Make no mistake, but I've seen girls like that before. I know some down ass white chicks, Italian chicks. You know what I'm saying? But I know the difference too. It was down ass Italian chicks, and then it was the Italian trash chicks that just like to sleep with all the black and Latin guys. I know the difference. You know what I'm saying? I know the difference. That's Brittany Renner's mother, whatever. She got two other siblings too. She got a brother and she's got a sister. You know what I'm saying? They seem like good guys. They're regular. You know what I mean? They don't do this whole thing that she does. So it goes to show me that she don't come from a bad family. But it seemed like the mother endorses what she does. And rightfully so, that's her mother. Mm-hmm. But something ain't right here. That one right there got off the scales a little bit more than the other two did. Something happened to that one. I don't know what happened to her. I don't want to blame Kevin Samuels because everybody's had problems with their fathers and mothers. Some of y'all still got problems with your fathers and mothers to this day, and y'all sit out here pointing your finger and pretending like y'all don't. Some of y'all right now at this very point don't even know how you're going to pay your motherfucking light bill, but y'all sitting up here talking about somebody else. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to talk about his problems with his mother and father, whatever. That ain't none of my goddamn business. And I don't think that's what shaped this man, because this man has been successful up until this point. We're not talking about a man that's coming in and out of prison. We're not talking about a man that used to drive taxi cabs, or a man that used to work at McDonald's or something like that, or a man that did construction work or some shit like that. We're talking about a man that is of the same means, same area I am, working in these office buildings, 1540 Broadway, Interscope Records, Atlantic Records, or whatever. You can say what you want to or whatever, but in the court of law, I beat you. On paper, I beat you. You understand what I'm saying? So I have more in common with Kevin Samuels and the office surroundings that he's been into than I would with somebody that's working in those latter professions, because those latter professions don't require any type of secondary education, which I have had. Now, that's not to diss anybody, but please feel free to understand the area and tier of society you actually are in versus the area and tier of society that you think you are in, because you will get fooled very, very quick. Like, for example, some of the people that I walk around and I see around this town, if I took them to the area I lived in the other part of Connecticut that I used to live in, I lived on the shoreline. I literally I could walk out my door and go piss in the beach. You understand what I'm saying? And I did that for 10 plus years. That's all I knew. 10 years before that, I lived one block over. So I walk over one block and could take a piss in the water. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, I went from one block to the next block. You know what I mean? Closer to the beach. And so that was my lifestyle. You know, we used to go over there, have parties, drink, whatever, you know, bonfires. We did it all. We go to Rhode Island, Squamish Beach up in Westerly, bonfires. You know, this is my whole life growing up, you know. So we knew when we get somebody to come in, and they ain't fit around us. Does that make sense? And it had nothing to do with the way you talk or whatever. It was the way you carry yourself, you see? And if it was a woman, even more so, because there were women that would come from other parts of towns that were less, how can I say it, less tiered, and they would try to fit in. And we automatically know they weren't about shit. Their hairstyle would suggest that. The way they carried themselves would suggest that. The way they talked would suggest that. The subject matters which they talked about would suggest that. I've heard Brittany talk now several times, okay? I put up a video, a combination of her talking. And I said, what the fuck can Kevin Samuels have with his educated motherfucking ass have in common with this little ass girl other than trying to have a baby by? That's all she could be, is a concubine, really. I mean, I don't see anything else this girl could be. She's not smart. She's makeup pretty. All her beauty can be taken away with a Kleenex. Is that a very good person? And her response to, after that gentleman had made that video about how many men had ran through her, you think I'm embarrassed by this shit? You should be embarrassed by that shit. You should be embarrassed. You got people doing whole radio interviews about you. You should be embarrassed. You should be embarrassed. So I'm just saying, Kevin Samuels, this is the type of chick you like, this is the type of chick you want. Hey, do what you do, man. Do what you do. But what you won't do is you won't feed us. I'm gonna read y'all comments too. Just give me 1 second. What you won't do is feed us this motherfucking diatribe on a daily while taking donations from folks and telling people that motherfucking somehow or another you are the savior by you dating thoughts with side babies. Who the fuck you think you're talking to, bro? Support the channel, please go to cash. Thank you very much. $ STRINGERBELL80. Makeup pretty. When I was a kid, old people used to tell us everything that glitters ain't gold. So now we know what that means. That's right. Sometimes you don't realize that they're going to get old and their children will watch the videos. Exactly. Hey, El Toquain. Morning, Davin. Just tuning in. How you do? Stay warm. Yeah, I know it's breezy out there. Kevin Samuels steals his talking points. That chick is like the rest of them, grimy and ignorant. Yes, she is. You could tell. I mean, like I just went through her what's her name yesterday. He steals Tommy's material. Kevin isn't original. You know who else does that and steals Tommy Sotomayor's material? What's that? I called him to his show one time. I don't like that motherfucker either. I still don't like his fat fucking ass. He thinks somebody's scared of him because he's an ex-Marine. Phil, that's his name. Fat Phil, that's what I call him. I watched him still, and I'm not on either side or whatever. I've been on Tommy Sotomayor's show before myself. It wasn't talking against women. It was actually talking after what had happened to me. I've been on his show twice. I was on his live and I was on his show. They're still up somewhere on there on his page. But how can I say this? This fat dude, Phil, the Advice show, that was the name of that bullshit. The Advice show. He took his material and slowly started mimicking it into his own. And then he tried to play the side after he had started taking the material, which was weird to me because that dude Phil is married to a Mexican woman. You understand what I'm saying? His wife was on the phone when I was with my ex and I called into his show back in the day. And I told him a new asshole. If my ex was here, she would tell you the same thing. I ripped him apart because I asked him that. I said, yo, who's that talking in the background? He still got to have it on camera somewhere. So I never really cared for him. But one of the things I saw was he had copied Tommy Sotomayor, if that's what you're talking about. He copied this whole program. That's a fact. And I kind of figured that Kevin Samuels kind of had too, because I'm going to be honest with you, Tommy Sotomayor is still pop. I just saw Tommy Sotomayor just recently. I'm going to segue into that for a few minutes here, and I'll come back to Brittany and Kevin. I just saw Tommy Sotomayor. Speaking of Tommy Sotomayor, it was actually something else that brought my attention to it. And I was going to talk about it at first, and I said, now I'm going to fall back from it, but now I got to talk about it because it escalated. So I was watching a clip. It was somebody else's channel. That's what grabbed me into it. I wasn't really following Tommy anymore, nothing like that per se. But I would see him from now and now again, pop up or whatever. So he was interviewing, and I've done a story on this, FBG Duck's mother, Mama Duck, that's what they call her. And he had gotten into an argument with her, which I can say kind of she brought it on because she was passive aggressive when she first came into the video chat. So she was kind of passive aggressive at first, but she was doing it in a subtle, sarcastic way. Watch for that shit right there. When they start getting subtly sarcastic with you or whatever, it's time to get up and go. That shit ain't getting no better. So she was sitting up there. She came into the show and she was talking and she was like, hi, how you doing? I'm FBG, Mama Duck, and all. And she was talking one way at first. And then this is when you saw like things get weird because she like turned around and she went from that voice to a whole different voice. And what she was actually trying to do was take over the show. So every time he was trying to say something to her, he'd be like, ma'am, excuse me, miss, ma'am. She'd just keep talking and asking like corny, not poignant questions. She'd be like, and how you know what happened with us? And that's how her voice sounded. I ain't trying to be funny. But that's how her voice is very deep and like sound like she just smoked a lot of cigarettes. And I'm not talking about this boy's mother like that either. I'm just talking about what happened. And so I'm sitting there and I'm watching it and it get deeper and deeper and deeper. And then it finally end up with her saying some shit to Tommy, you need a gun in your mouth. And I'm like, oh shit. And still up to that point, he had not said nothing nasty to her or belligerent to her. It wasn't to the point where she said that Tommy went the fuck off on it. And I would have too. Any broad say I need a gun in my mouth, you know what? All shit is off. We are now going at it. You know, so he said what he said to her, whatever, whatever. One of the things he pointed out, he said, could you imagine having a mother like this growing up? Because I didn't know this woman had 3 other children that had somehow or another met their demise. She had one child that was playing with a lighter. He burnt himself to death. She had another child that was killed, just like Duck was, murdered. And then she had another daughter or son or something like that that was killed. Something happened too. So this was like 4 kids she had died, literally. I was like, well, what in the hell kind of fucking bad spirit you got with you? You know, that's the first thing I was thinking. You know, 4 kids dead that came out your body. Z. I don't know how y'all think, but I'm just saying myself. I'm just saying. No, she didn't kill them, but what I'm saying is we're talking about child rearing. That's what we're talking about. Use your mind. Child rearing. See, one thing a lot of people don't understand, and when I mention why I lived that and how I grew up and all that shit or whatever, is not to brag, but to point out this. The environment and the conditions in which your child grows up in and the people he interacts with on that journey to reach 18 are the most poignant moments in your child's history that you will ever share with them. That being said, all the influences, all the bad things that surround you and all that shit right there also come with that. Now, if you have kids that are living in these environments, 9 times out of 10, sooner or later, they start picking up bad behavior, whether it be early pregnancy, whether it be, you know, getting into gunfights with motherfuckers, selling drugs, whatever. Like, I like to keep it like how it is in society. That's what happens. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it and like many people like to do nowadays. Well, let's not call it that. No, let's call it that. These are motherfuckers selling pussy, selling drugs. You know what I mean? There's 13, 14-year-old girls right now in Brooklyn selling pussy. You know, so where's women's groups out there stopping them? There's women that will walk past these girls and know they selling pussy and won't say a motherfucking thing to them because they don't feel in their heart they got enough to stop them. So what I'm saying is influence is everywhere if you live in bad neighborhoods, but you want to live Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of motherfuckers live in bad neighborhoods, but want to live Hollywood, meaning all the things in your house, within your house, you know, 75-inch TV and, you know, you drive a $55,000 car, all that shit or whatever. You pulling up to the 4th floor of the fucking Wagner Projects I'm fucking with, or 4th floor of Sumner Projects in Brooklyn, or Queensbridge in Brooklyn. Yeah, you got a $70,000, but you live here with us. You live here with us. I don't know, man. Tommy goes off on that chick because she still lived in the hood. And when Duck was alive, she was living in the hood. They never moved out of that hood. They should have moved to another state, something. Chief was smart. He got the fuck out of there and moved to California last time they shot him. They stayed in this neighborhood. They stayed in the city. And one of the biggest things that brought on the argument was this woman, Mama Duck, was screwing one of the people that didn't like her son, an op, if you want to call it. She was screwing. And Tommy had a recording of them two talking. Her talking about, you gonna love this pussy and all this stuff right here. And he put it out there. He put out 2, 3 recordings of it. This was somebody that didn't like her son, and she was screwing him. Now, she didn't kill those kids that I mentioned. But what she did do was she created an environment where those kids couldn't prosper in the right way. Those kids were raised by the streets. And a lot of people don't want to sit there and say it or whatever. And I've seen it happen all throughout the tri-state. These kids get raised by the streets. To streets and friends. So ultimately, the next night, or 2 nights later, some dude calls in and he's some gangster out of Chicago, he says, and he's threatening Tommy. He's doing kind of like the same behavior, talking over, not listening, not talking, or whatever. This is not a man. That's a banshee. That's one of the motherfuckers you send that's a live wire. You know, he'll go do anything at any time until somebody stop him. You never argue with guys like that. You just blow their fucking brains out. You know, never argue with guys like that. They start doing all that huffing and puffing shit or whatever. Let them do it. You know, they're putting on the show. end them and where they need to be at and keep it moving. A lot of people, they make a mistake. The biggest killers are calm. Let me tell you something, man. Tommy starts arguing with this guy, but at first he's sitting there and letting the dude say whatever he want to say. The guy brings Tommy in on his podcast like he's some big time podcaster or something. I said, you got Tommy Sotomayor on here with you right now. You're not doing anything but yelling and screaming and calling them bitches and all kinds of shit. It was just real sad because what it showed me was a lot of these men that are raised by these women act exactly like the women that they were raised by. So in retrospect, a lot of women out here, being that 61% of Latino women are single parents and 72% of Black women are single parents, it's easy to say that most of these men that these women are complaining about were raised by other women that look just like you by themselves, just like you raising yours by yourself. So ultimately, y'all complaining about the byproduct of your child rearing. So that's why I said child rearing. Child rearing. It's a term that many people do not use, but child rearing. Meaning it's not inclusive of yelling and screaming at your kids and all that shit. That's one thing I liked about my mother. My mother didn't do a lot of yelling and screaming. Nor did my father. Not in our house. Because when they said some shit, they ain't have to say it twice. Because we knew what was coming after that. We didn't do it. Now motherfuckers want to be friends with the kids, whatever. And that's why I point out Brittany Renner so much. And I'll get into that story. I think I'll do a whole cast about that story, about Tommy and everything like that. But ultimately, Tommy to put himself in a position where, my nigga, if you go to Chicago, your life might be in danger. You do realize that, right? Like, this little motherfucker, Duck, was a chief. You know, I don't know how well you know Chicago, but you just put yourself in some danger if you ever choose to go out there, have a gig. I'm just saying. You in danger. You better go out there and like, you gotta know when to hold them, know when to walk away, know when to run away, know when to hide. You gotta count your money while you're sitting at the table. Tradition of Tommy Sotomayor. When the keys go down, but watch yourself, nigga. They watching. They watch. I'm trying to tell you, man. That nigga, you gotta be careful. You got to be careful. She know all them gangsters out there. So there's a whole bunch of them gangster motherfuckers out there in Chicago right now. This is how they think out there. And I know that I got cousins in Chicago. My ex had family in Chicago and the surrounding areas. You know what I'm saying? When I was a young kid, my uncle Daniel, that was his nickname, Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So I talk to people in Chicago on a regular basis. Outside one of my friends in that, who I talk to quite frequently. It's a thing to go on here, right? Where you have a motherfucker that died nowadays. Say he's the top drug dealer or whatever the case may be. It was like this probably back in the 90s, 80s, and 70s alike. But you get one of these drug dealers that died or whatever, and instead of paying homage to, you know, a college student graduating or something like that of the measure, instead of doing that, this hat won't stay straight for shit. This hat ain't shit, right? Y'all hit up my Cash App so I can give me a new goddamn hat. This hat ain't shit. That's Cash App $STRINGERBELL80. You get a because I want to say this without being rude. You get a lot of people that get raised in these shitty environments. You get a lot of people that get raised in these shitty environments, and they get out into society, and now here they are. You understand what I'm saying? And they're here to date any woman or any man that they possibly can, run through all of them, whatever the case may be. But the whole time, these motherfuckers got mental problems and issues from the parent that raised them. You understand what I'm saying? So out in Chicago right now, you got a whole genealogy They go back for probably the past 3 decades, motherfuckers being raised by mostly single moms. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like the antithesis of the Great Society programs were first based, believe it or not, in the Chicago area and other major cities. But Chicago was the first to implement, one of the first cities to implement it across the nation. Then New York and all the other major cities followed. Then the smaller towns and cities and municipalities soon after. But Chicago was a testing ground mostly for gentrification and for the Great Society programs. I don't give a fuck what nobody say about that. In Chicago, they had one area that was originally it was an all black suburb, basically, development. They had one in Florida too. And they allow gentrification, they allow private developers to come in and they crush the shit. That's one of the things I give myself credit on when I start building these shipping container homes is I don't want to lease the land. I want to fucking buy the land. The land is more important. My materials are cheap. I learned that from my uncle. My uncle's built 2 houses. I want the land. I don't give a fuck about, you know what I'm saying, any of that other shit or whatever, whatever. I need the land. And I don't need it, and I need it in an area that's not prone to eminent domain. Don't give me no areas that are anywhere near an eminent domain, city, state, or town. I'm good. And if that makes it so I can't build in a couple of cities and states across the United States, and so fucking be it. I will never develop anything, especially a whole development near any state or on any land that is considered ready for eminent domain at any given time. That means they can take your fucking property, pay you whatever the fuck they want to pay you, and get the fuck out of here. I've seen it done with my own 2 eyes. I saw it done in New London, Connecticut. They took a whole area of historic houses that had been there since the 1600s, 1700s, since the initial birth of the city itself, and knocked them down for a modern structure of Pfizer's that stayed there 10 days and stayed tax exempt for 10 years off until the day they moved. I said, you motherfuckers. And left the whole freaking shell of a building. If it wasn't for Joseph Lieberman coming up with a plan to put an electric boat in there, that place would still be a big ass show. I mean, this is a huge ass building. We're not talking about like, this is a facility. This is not a building. It's a facility with many buildings within the facility. And then across the street, there was a whole huge, this school that they had built as a daycare center was as huge as a whole damn school. Okay? This was a daycare center, and it was just as big as your smallest school. And Pfizer's left this shit behind it. Everybody clown like it's the thing to do. Yeah, man. Key. Ain't that what they do, Jamal? A key. Always a key. And the reason they do that because most of these men is raised by women. Let me ask you this. Go around your girlfriend, go around your aunt, go around your mama while they're interacting with other women. What are they doing? A key, ha, he, or trying to make up something funny to say so they can fit in. Well, if you pay attention to a lot of these men out here, they do the same thing. I have men ride past me because of the way I'm dressed or the way I look, whatever the case may be, and will look me up and down like I'm a fine bitch at the club. And I've got a new phrase that I say all the time now. I'll look at them and I'll be like, I'm a guy. Fellas, if you run into one of these motherfuckers and you catch them doing this behavior, look right at them and be like, I'm a guy. And see what their reaction is. I'm a guy. Why are you sitting here staring at other men? What do you like boys? You like little boys? You like boys? That's what you got to ask them. You like boys? Because I don't. So why the fuck are you sitting there staring at me like that? And they're not doing it because it's like a girl in the club. It's really this. It's like a girl in the club with the same dress on that you got on, but y'all both bought the shit and saw each other at the mall earlier. And now y'all see each other at the same damn club. That's how men are acting now. Black and Spanish alike. That bitch, he said, I seen she was crazy. That bitch nuttier than squirrel shit. The men are acting the same damn way. And that's why I see the bitch up in Kevin Samuels. I saw the bitch up in him earlier. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? And in a regular world, Kevin Samuels at 20, 21, 23, 22, whatever, you wouldn't have been around doing the same shit we was doing, homie. All right. And that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I ain't calling myself no tough guy either. But I'm just saying you have a particular pedigree of men. You understand what I'm saying? And I know those type of men. These are men that have never had women in their life. And that's why it's so easy for these basic broads that most guys, like I said, Kevin Gates is distance broad. You know what I'm saying? Broads that we would normally look over and be like, oh, she just for the streets. They trying to wife him. I told y'all a long time ago, is this whole shit started out with Sean Kingston. Sean Kingston started this whole shit. Nobody ever blames that fat motherfucker. What's up, Sean Kingston, you tubby fuck? Sean Kingston bought fucking Black China to the what was it, the Billboard Music Awards. And I remember it to this day, and that was back in like 2013, 2012, somewhere around there. And she wore this see-through sheer black outfit. And you could see her G-string in her panties. She was the first person that got that shit popping. And she got that shit mostly popping, and she knew that where because her mother was a motherfucking burlesque dancer or stripper, if you want to call it. Her mother was. Tokyo Tony. Still is to this day. Shout out to Tokyo Tony. I like how she do. You know what I'm saying? Well, her mama was in the game. So she knew the outfits to wear, she knew the heels to get, everything like that, whatever. And she knew the catalyst to use. This little portly fat fuck. Let me use this little portly fat ass to build my shit. And that's exactly what she did. She used Sean Kingston. You ever seen her with Sean Kingston again? She didn't have a baby by Sean Kingston. She had a baby by Tiger because Tiger was popping at that time. Tiger stopped popping for a minute, went over there, started messing with the Kardashian kid. Got a show with him, fucked that up. She fucked her own TV show up. Then went and had a side baby. You should have waited to season 2 and see if there was some love there. Then you have a side baby. She goes and has a side baby. The side baby is with Rob Kardashian full time. I don't know how you thought you was going to win that. Their daddy got OJ off. How did you think you was going to win? So that shit backfired on you. Well, sure, you can have the kid, and but remember, you're not part of the family. That's basically what they were telling her. Your daughter's part of the family. You're not. Your daughter's part of the family. You're not. That's a hard pill to swallow right there if y'all ain't never heard that shit before. Your daughter, your son is part of our family. You aren't. You ain't married to a motherfucker in this house. You don't share our last name. There's some families are like that. I don't know. But I know a lot of white, black, and Latin families are like that. A lot of these guys have been putting these women into the game for a long time. Kevin Samuels is the next victim. And I'm going to tell you like this. I'm going to tell you one time ago, this last little 30 with you, that I did my due diligence. If you allow this woman, after all the time, it takes us a long time, a lot of times, to go viral. So if you allow this woman to tear down the empire you built based on the fact that you think you can get some vajay out this woman, because I know that's what you really want. You want some vajay or some more vajay. It sounds like she already gave you some vajay, and in exchange for the vajay, you took her shopping, which I got a question about that. I know you run some businesses and everything like that, but what you doing with the donation money? Because you wasn't rich. Because I remember, and this is why I tell people kiss my ass when they talk about why you said your Cash App. Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80. That's Stringer Bell 80. There's also PayPal link in the description box. Also, if you'd like to purchase my single, you can do so. There's also a sample of my track, all embedded in the description boxes. Click, and in unison, you will see everything and all your options. Please donate, support the channel, help me out. The reason I know this is because Kevin Samuels said something that was real poignant. This is the reason I just said all that shit. He said, no, you cannot financially shame me. I'm not going to stop asking for donations. And yes, I'm trying to become rich. And I live by that same sentiment. I ain't mad at him. But within that, there's some responsibility, sir. There's some responsibility. As far as perception and clarity. Y'all please hit them like buttons if y'all would. As far as perception and clarity. And once again, if you'd like to donate, it's $STRINGERBELL80. And I'll tell you what that is. It's this. You have not been clear and transparent enough with people. And I think many of the YouTubers that are out here that collected thousands of dollars under the guise of black have not shown people what you're doing with the money, where you're spending the money on. And when you spend the money, it looks like to us you're not doing anything but buying luxury cars, taking bitches on dates and shopping and shit. It's people hard earned money. You understand what I'm saying? You're not building anything. You're consuming. So the same shit you talk about and against, you actually participating in, motherfucker. I'm watching you. You're the consumer. So you're taking the people, and we all consumers. You know, like right now, I wish more than anything I had this fucking TV. I'm gonna get one. It's gonna happen. But the point I'm getting at is we're all consumers in one way or another. But if I go and buy a TV, I'm gonna show folks, hey, I went and bought a TV. I've always done that here on my channel. I show people what I buy with my shit. Nigga, you buying Ferraris, leasing Ferraris, leasing cribs, taking chicks out on shopping sprees. You know what I'm saying? Instagram thoughts. Did y'all buy anything for the baby? Y'all buy anything for the side baby? A jumper, a hat, knapsack. I don't know. A 50-50 hat, something. That bitch crazy in the cat shit, man. He said, I seen this, she crazy. She says in the video she crazy. She said, people call me crazy. I was like, because you are. You got what? You got like some of these chicks, they really gone, bro. They really gone. And they have I don't know if it was like some class they had or whatever the fuck. But they have some way of turning that shit on and turning that shit off depending on the situation they're in. So if they're in a situation where they feel lax or they're around other men of color, I've noticed that they get real lax. As soon as somebody white come into the room, they have a whole totally different personality. And I'm like, okay, something wrong with you because you just had two different personalities depending on who you're interacting with. Anytime you see this shit right there, get away from that motherfucker. Now, there'll be situations where it's warranted, but I'm talking about when they do it when it's not warranted. You know, like you're not going to talk to President Biden like you would talk to your homeboys on the block. Get what I'm saying? But if it's just a regular motherfucker, who's this? Oh, that's Jim that works at the bank. Okay, so what the fuck? Who the fuck is Jim? Outside of Jim's scope and the people that work with Jim, who the fuck is Jim in society? Nobody. And this is what we do. We hold these little cliches of what we think in our mind is really work. If Jim goes to court tomorrow and is held up on fraud charges, you think they're going to give a fuck what his position was at the bank? No, bitch. How much did you steal? And motherfucking, are you going or not? You can do the time or give us some names. You know what I mean? That's how that shit's going down. And I don't give a fuck who says anything. Think what you want to. Go through the process and see if it worked out your way. I know better. Seen it. Now, Kevin Samuels, I don't want to give you a Simp award, but you're getting close to getting a Simp award. You made this joke about Big Shirley, and I put that video up and I asked the question. That video is still on my page, and many people in my followers, y'all know what I'm talking about. I said, is this Kevin Samuels Ferrari? Is he buying Ferraris with the donation money? And I just can't understand why more and more motherfuckers keep donating to him just because, well, he's popular. But meanwhile, people like myself and other YouTubers are left to pick up the scraps. I get it. I understand why. And I have my moment again. You know what I'm saying? I have my moment again with my shit, you know, right or whatever. I ain't trying to leapfrog off nobody's back. I'm just literally pointing out what I'm seeing. And I'm just saying a lot of shit that Kevin Samuels was doing is looking like some sucker shit. Is that fair? It looked like some sucker shit. It looked like some shit we should raise an eyebrow off of and be like, you, Umar, and many other different YouTubers, what the fuck are y'all doing? Are y'all trying to build or are y'all trying to be consumers? Because it looked like y'all just interested in being consumers. Every realm and I mean, I can see taking a couple $100 and be like, yo, you know what? I ain't never did that for myself in a long time. I like to do that. I like to go out and do something for myself. You know how long it's been since I've been to a dinner by myself? I don't get the opportunity to fucking do that. Or what I'm going to do, take people's cash app and go do that shit or whatever. I had a friend that wanted me to go out with him one night. And I said those exact words to him. I said, I'm not taking my people that donate to me and going to drink it up. I'm not doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go. You have to be more transparent what you're doing with these people's money. These people, some of these people work hard for their money. Some of these people don't even have it like that. And their empathy makes them donate to you or whatever. And it's your responsibility not to take your money and throw it on fucking whores like Brittany Renner. All right? That's a fucking whore. And I'm tired of black dudes and Latin dudes going to try to say fucking whores all the time. Meanwhile, your compadres and your brothers and shit like that, you make fun of them, ridicule them, whatever, whatever, whatever. Maybe they just didn't have the same background as you. If you guys talk about this hood shit all the time, when the fuck did they start having class, motherfucking, like top tier classes in the hood? Like, you motherfuckers don't even make sense out of your own struggle nowadays. You know what I'm saying? And just getting over on people and shit like that. That's how I think it was coming from Kevin Samuels right now, man. I'm seeing an opportunist. I don't like that shit, my nigga. I don't like that shit at all. Guys, I'm out of here. I'm gonna talk some more about Brittany and Kevin Samuels later on. I want to find out a couple other things or whatever. But the corny ass jokes, Kevin. You see, Big Shirley couldn't fit in this. That ain't Big Shirley. You did a follow-up video with the same way. You stood away from the Ferrari in the first video because you didn't want nobody to think it was yours. You stood away from it in the second video because you didn't want nobody to think it was yours. Nigga, we know you leasing that shit. You ain't buy it, you leasing it. You know what I'm saying? Why you leasing it with people's money, bro? Why you taking donations? Like, if you making so much money you can afford a Ferrari or whatever, take your cash out now. I'm out. And guys, if you want to donate to me, it's $STRINGERBELL80. The link's in the description box and find it in the pinned comment. Also, if you'd like to purchase my song, it's in there too. Let me tell everybody that came in here and showed up, thank you. The Bots of Jedi, thank you so much. So true. And Monty Still, thank you for showing up. Jamel Fareed, thank you so much, brother. Who else is in here? Antoine Queen, always a pleasure. You know I try to be as honest as I can on here. Sure did. Thank you for tuning in. Superstar Bella, thank you, baby. Sure did, Jamel. Superstar, I got a lot of comments in here. Heather Marie, what's going on? 305 Capricorn, that's my people right there. 305 Capricorn been with me for a long time. Cedar Abraham 144, thank you. S2447, thank you. Mo Red, I haven't heard it called Woman Empowerment from the Mega Cardi. Yeah, right? Mo Red, what's going on? And just real quick, man, a couple people I want y'all to go to Gabriel Martin. What's going on? A couple people I want y'all to go check out, man. Go check out Red Supreme TV1. Definitely go check out Corey Holcomb. Go check out Danica. You know what I'm saying? Go check out the Crimson Cure. I want y'all to go check them out. Definitely go check out Zoe What at the Zoe What Show. You know what I mean? Tell them Stricken Bell sent you over there. And I'm trying to think of who else, man. That's about it right now. Make sure you go check out those people. Oh yeah, and Dale Harrison. Make sure y'all go check out my homegirl Dale Harrison, who I know in real life. You know what I'm saying? Go check out Dale. Tell her Davin sent you over there, whatever. Dale Harrison. That's spelled DELHARRISON. Dale Harrison, comedian, and now currently on WBLS in New York and our networks. You know what I'm saying? She just got back on there, so I want to support her as much as she can. And thank you, Dale, for buying my song. That's my girl right there. Like, we talk on a regular basis. I just ain't talked to her and the homegirl Jersey in about a week or so, but we're going to catch up. She already know what time it is. But, yo, love to you, Dale Harrison, comedian Dale Harrison. Y'all see her performing anywhere, go buy them tickets. She's a laughter. She's crazy. She also can sing. You know what I'm saying? Comedian Dale Harrison is well known in the business. She's had shows on CBS and everything else. So shout out to her. That's my girl right there. Other than that, guys, I'll be back to talk some more about this Kevin Samuels thing because I see a whole bunch of shit in the work. And I'm gonna keep on these motherfuckers talking about them. A lot of people say, "Oh, you just hating because you ain't get as much cash apps as them." Yup. And if I ever give you my ass a kiss while I'm pushing a Ferrari off your motherfucking cash apps, y'all have a right to do the same thing. Make videos, cuss me out, talk about me, and all that shit. But I'm not going to do that because that's some sucker shit. What I am going to do is build some shit so that I can buy all that shit later on. All that shit right there you buying and trying to floors and all the little shiny clothes and all that shit momentary shit, nigga. That shit can come and go. You understand what I'm saying? Get out on these streets. Get on the motherfucking... That's the thing I hate about a lot of these YouTubers. These motherfuckers sit back in the confines of a studio setup or whatever, and never be on the street vlogging, nothing like that. I don't know. Anyway, guys, Cash App, $STRINGER, PayPal link, excuse me, STRINGERBELL80, and Stringer Bell 80. Cash App link is in the description. PayPal link is also in the description. Purchase link for my song and also a sample of my song is all in the description box. So also be in a pinned comment right after this broadcast is over. Thank you all for tuning in. I may or may not go live again today or whatever. It really, a lot of people have been asking me, they're like, yo, why couldn't you all go as live as much as you did or whatever? Or, and I try to keep the channel going. So I threw up uploads as y'all saw yesterday. I think I threw up like 7. But it really incurs, like, I don't know. And I think I'm gonna do a whole live about that too, because people have been asking me that. Was my current situation, how things change or whatever. So I'm gonna do a whole separate one about that or whatever. Thank you, Lawar Cooper. I appreciate it. That's our family name. That was my grandmother named Cooper. Yeah, man. My mother's mother, Cooper. Mm-hmm. Mamie Cooper. That's wild. I'm just gonna try to keep pushing forward, man, as much as I possibly can, whatever, with or without, support of that. I'm gonna keep on doing it, but at the same time, it's got to be limited. If there ain't no support coming in, you know what I mean? Like, and there's so much I could talk about, so much I could tell you guys or whatever. I would love to sit here, like one of my lives that I got. I think it's 54,000 views on that last week and 2,600 people in the chat room. It was one of the largest lives I've ever done. It's not the largest in views I've done, but the largest lives I've done as far as participation. And with 54,000 people, you would think, damn, that shit should have been lit with Cash App. I had people making excuses. How come you ain't got no super chat? And I had to explain to them, even Storm and Rowe, he's had a problem with that super chat shit and refunding somebody's money back because the money doesn't directly come in. It takes like a month for that shit to process. And then if you guys want your money back or something like that, or whatever the case may be, if that pops up, it's almost next to impossible because there's no money to facilitate. So I have to give it out of my own pocket, basically, and that's not fair either. But, it is what it is. That's why I prefer Cash App, PayPal. It's right there instantaneously. You ain't got to worry about nothing. I appreciate you responding to me. My family's name is McCaskill. McCaskill. Huh. It's interesting. Where are you from? If you get time, write that in the what's the name? Where are you from? What region of the state are you from? Or what states? I like to know that before I get off of here. I want to be wondering later. Like, is that cousin of ours? I had that happen before. Like, it was weird as fuck. I met somebody who was hanging out with him, whatever. He's like, yo, I gotta go to my cousin's house tomorrow. Chicago. Yeah, see, that might be a possibility. That might be possible. We got family in Chicago. That's interesting. Huh. But yeah, my grandmother's last name was Cooper, spelled the exact same way. My brothers and sisters in them too. Bernard, Patrice, all Cooper. Mm-hmm. I am in Connecticut. I live in Connecticut, Stamford, Connecticut. I live in the same place that Jen Psaki, who is the press secretary for the White House, and Candace Owens are from. This is where I live at. I haven't lived here in a long time. I live further up the street here, if you want to say, in New London, Connecticut. And then before that, I was living in New York for these past 3 years, working and repositioning my life and shit like that. And then this pandemic happened, and it brought me back to Connecticut. It's all part of tri-state. It goes Connecticut, New York, New Jersey. About 35 minutes, maybe 45 minutes outside New York. But I prefer to be on this side of the fence again. Definitely prefer to be on this side of the fence again. And I think this is where I'll stay. I'll probably have my wife here, my kids here, everything else. So I think it was meant for me. God sometimes be like this, all right, time to take your ass home, but you gonna still be here. But you need to take your ass on home. And that's what I did. I said, let me take my ass on home to the state. Yes, sir. But we Southern people. I got cousins Labia and Simp out there in Chicago still. I don't know where their wild asses is at. At one time, Simp and my aunt, because he's the oldest, Simp, my aunt and my uncle, they all lived in Cabrini Green before they tore them down. They lived there. You know what I mean? He had an apartment there that he was given, and they were staying there while they saved up to buy a house. And they ended up buying a house. They moved out before they tore them down, but they were there. They were definitely there in Cabrini Green. Got pictures in there and everything. You know? Yeah, some kind he got to be like, shit, Some kind of got to be in his late 40s now, something like that, because he's older than all of us. So yeah, about that. Look at me, I'm talking about my cousins and shit like that. But good to meet you. Yeah, we, you know what, we got to move further, man. I need to make money. You know what I'm saying, on a constant basis, and I know I could take it over to the Patreons and all that, and I don't really want to do that. I don't want to make everything really about just one centered area. I'm over here one week. I'm over here one week. I have a lot of followers on here, as you can see. I have in the thousands of followers, and so I don't want to have to try to circumnavigate everybody over to that or whatever. But I mean, if that comes down to it, it ends up being that. It might have to be that. But I've got to have a steady income flow coming in all the time with this, and being the fact that a lot of YouTubers, and the reason I bring shit up like Kevin Samuels and everything like that, because a lot of these guys in Umar, a lot of these guys have spent years, almost a decade, fucking people over and not doing anything that they say they were going to do. And that's the fundamental thing. If you're going to say you're going to speak for the people, you got to do what the fuck you say you're going to do. You can't sit online and blow smoke up people's asses and give them the ass to kiss when you get what you want to, and do shit like that. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. And what they've done is they fucked up the game for a lot of other people, because when they see things like Brother Polite, people fall back. You know what I'm saying? People were still donating to him when he was being accused of raping a 14-year-old girl. It goes to show you what a moral basis is. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers, they just go after whoever's popular and they ride with them. Motherfuckers be like, yo, let's go kill babies today. Okay, so and so. You know what I mean? And then, like, when it comes to an advocacy or a point or whatever, like Ahmaud Arbery, right? His trial is going on right now. Many of y'all don't remember Ahmaud Arbery. Everybody was screaming about it when he got killed down there, and I believe it was South Carolina, by some men. He was jogging through a neighborhood, and some men decided they was going to shoot and kill him because they thought he was trespassing. Vigilante justice. Now his murder trial with these three men is underway and has been underway for the past 2 or 3 weeks. You barely hear anybody Black or Latino on their lines talking about it. The only people I've seen talking about it is that BNC network here on YouTube. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Well, all the Black bloggers on that one. There should be one particular motherfucker covering the whole case. I think I'm gonna pick it up since nobody else would do it without donations. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like this the people that bought. I do a lot of work. I mean, if you go through my channel, you'll see or whatever. And a lot of times I have better shit to offer these niggas. The thing is, these dudes, they have popularity, and I have popularity too. I come up in Google searches and all, but not as same streamed as they do. And if I could get those viewerships where it's 178,000 views and 93,000 views or whatever, that'd be beautiful, and people to consent and donate along with it. I've had people that have come on my page and it won't donate to me, even if they hear me say a diatribe or something like that, how important it is or whatever. And I'll see them at a Kevin Samuels page or Lord Jamal page or whoever page donating. I'll be like, wow, really? So like, it's all up to you. I don't dare nobody, judge nobody for that or whatever. I just call out what I call out. And if you don't like it, then fuck, you don't have to come here. You can unsubscribe, whatever, fuck, I don't care. But for those people that do come here, I just want to point out how important that is for me. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know I'm coming out of homelessness, like literally, like shelter everything. Like scroll down my videos a lot. You're gonna have to go a lot now. You'll see a whole bunch of shit like that. But I chronicled the whole thing. I went through it. It was the first time that ever happened to me. And it was like fucking mind altering, especially the fact that I went through it through the pandemic. And I find every time I get into that conversation, the only person that points it out and highlights that I went through that shit during the pandemic is white people. Everybody else will be like, "Oh, that should be just normal. You'll get through it. You'll be all right." I'll be like, "Fuck you. I'm fucked up." like, like literally, I've got problems with anxiety and depression now. I've never had that problem, but that's why you talk to a psych, Brittany Ratner or Renner or whatever the fuck your name is, and get that shit right. You know what I'm saying? Talk to a shrink on the phone. There's many services. I'm gonna start throwing up some of the numbers and to share them with guys and girls so they can have it for themselves. But for me, I talk to one twice a week on the phone. Anything that you got going on, any triggers around you or whatever. There's a lot of people out here triggering people nowadays, poking people online or offline. You know what I'm saying? In society, a lot of motherfuckers trying to live their avatar and their online personality in the streets. It's crazy. So All right, guys. So, anyways, $ STRINGERBELL80, or purchase my single or whatever. All information is in the description box. Should also be in a pinned comment. And I want to thank every last one of y'all to rock with me on my little dad drive today when I'm talking about all kinds of shit. And Kevin Samuels, leave that bitch alone. I'm out.